Contact. Hello, everybody. Hero77 here, and man, are we live today? This is a live one, people. Live. Can everybody hear me, by the way? I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. I got to go check out my own broadcast. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff to talk about today on the broadcast. If we get enough people in here, this might become a call-in show. Number one, because it's early in the day. Number two, I don't have a panel. So I do a call in and it'll fill that panel void. See, I knew God's armor would be busy today, and I knew that sagittarically speaking, God bless his heart, man, his phone's still down. So there's nothing I could do. I don't have a panel, bomano, banana, fano, fano, me, my, momano, panel. Yeah. Play that one back and listen to it again. So I just had my shower, so I'm freshly clean for on the air performances. I do need to comb my hair though, but on it, seriously though, my hot water heater is still having problems, and so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait after the broadcast. I'm only gonna do this for about an hour and 30 minutes or so, something like that. But after the broadcast, I'm going to go and turn the water off and shut that baby down and get that baby out of here. Oh, it looks like Suso just started the premiere. Wait, no. That was Monday. Like my laugh? It's kind of forced, actually. But no, there's a lot to talk about today. A lot to go over. I've noticed, for me at least, the Mandela effect has slowed down for me. I wanted to make some more Mandela affected videos. However, and I just haven't been seeing it. I've been seeing it on other channels. There's been other channels having explosions of Mandela effects. Good Lord. Scare Performance just the other day had like 5 or 6 of them in a row. The words melon, the words, the girl with the monocle. But you look at a girl with a monocle. What girl has ever really had a monocle? I mean, that's just weird, man. The only people you really see wearing monocles like Mr. Peanut and James Bond villains and Dr. Mindbender. Where else are you going to see a monocle? And of course, yes, I know. A lot of people are going to say, the Monopoly Man. But officially, he doesn't. Although unofficially, we all know he did at one point. Because there's a ton of residue out there. And because it's in all of our memories. Now, I could go either way on that deal. Did he have a monocle? Didn't he? I don't know. He's got the top hat still. So, I mean, he's got the top hat. He's got the cane on his arm, like on the crook of his arm. So, I mean, he's still got that going for him. So, I mean, as long as he still has that, it's awesome. But, yeah, a monocle kind of would finish the whole thing. And going back and watching the Adam Sandler movie, I think it was Mr. Deeds. He's like, yeah, the Monopoly Man agrees with me. You know how that is definitely not his laugh, by the way. Been making a lot of Star Trek videos here lately. Have you guys seen my Star Trek stop motion videos? I haven't been making them. I made those years ago, and I've been downloading them on my computer because I've been without a laptop for I guess about 3 years now without a laptop. So you get the laptop, you get the one that's got the disc tray in it, and I think they're going to stop making those, which sucks because I like my disc tray. Damn it, I like putting stuff in there. Sometimes you're around somewhere where there's no DVD player or no TV or anything. You just want to watch a movie. And you don't have the, what are they called, digital copy, You don't have the digital copies, so you know you got to go from. You got to get your laptop out, watch a damn movie. Damn it, I miss VHS. Actually, I wish they would bring back VHS. If anybody knows of any places that still has VHS, let me know in the comment section below. Is there anybody watching this broadcast, by the way? I know I got it scheduled for 3 o'clock, but come on. Does anyone actually ever start when they're supposed to start? Now, granted, a lot of people start later than when they're supposed to start. I don't guess a whole lot of people start early. I guess I'm one of the few that starts early sometimes. I remember my first broadcast, my first official broadcast. It was Shifty Sunday, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it, and I was late for that broadcast because I slept in. I took a nap. And about a week before this, I was getting on to Dan about him sleeping in. Not getting on to, but kind of making fun, giving him a ribbing. You know what the word ribbing means, right? It's like when you're joking around, you're kidding around, you know, just giving them a ribbing. Give you a good ribbing. You want some barbecue sauce with that ribbing? No, thank you. Anyway, so, you know, it is what it is, but I slept in my first broadcast, and my broadcast partners, Sagittariusly speaking, and God's Armor, were both like, just, they ribbed the hell on me that day. Not too bad. Not too bad. Those guys don't ever really dig in there. And, you know, part of the reason I think is you got to really fill a person out first. You got to fill out how far is too far. Like, how far can you go before it crosses over the edge? There's a certain person, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I think that I might have pushed that person over the edge because I was ribbing him way too much. There was barbecue sauce on that ribbing. Let me tell you something, man. You just have to fill the person out. See how far you can take the joke. You know, there's wrestlers out there. They have a lot of stories about the famous ribbings and stuff. Jerry the King Lawler told me a story one time. I met him over at Superman Fest. By the way, Superman Fest happens in June. If anyone's interested, it's next month. It's June 12th through June 11th through the 13th. If anyone's interested, go check that out. It's in Metropolis, Illinois. Yeah, I was talking to Jerry the King Lawler, and he was telling me about a time a guy, excuse my language, there's really no other way of putting this, but the time a guy shit in his crown. The guy actually took a dump in his crown, and very fortunate he didn't put it on because, of course, he could smell it before, or he could see it actually before he could put it on. He smelt it, and but he got that guy back, and I forget exactly how he did it, but he had to do something really big to get that guy back. You know, I mean, you can't just shit in somebody's crown and not expect to get something back in return. I mean, you're either going to get a pretty good joke played back on you, or you're going to get the shit beat out of you. I mean, either way, you know. You can't just let that one slide. But I forget what he did in retaliation. He told me, but I totally just forgot about it because that one was enough. You know, how do you do something like that? So it just depends on the person. Obviously, he has some strong threshold when it comes to taking a joke as far as you could take it. I mean, geez, you know, that's pretty amazing. There's nothing short of things that I have here to talk about. One of the things I meant to talk about was the Mandela effect and some of the things that we've all been seeing here lately. And a lot of it's just been word changes. Before I get into that, let me go over and see how many people are watching this broadcast. Um, because if nobody's watching, certainly they will watch in the replay. Our last broadcast didn't seem to pick up too well. I probably need to go back and change a few of the things on there. I had mentioned that Jason McFalls was going to be on that broadcast, and the fact I couldn't get a hold of him. And thank goodness Noble SD stepped in. Noble's a good guy, man. He's just amazing. It's awesome. He stepped in and helped me out and filled in for Sagittariusly Speaking. Jason was supposed to fill in for Sagittariusly Speaking, but he passed out, and Noble put he strapped those boots on and stepped right in there, and he did a really good job filling in. I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter because we had Jesus is Calling on that program, and she's a really good boy. She's amazing. She could just say some stuff, man, that's just totally, she's as good as you can get for when you're talking about spirituality, when you're talking about the Holy Spirit and the Father and Jesus, stuff like that. I mean, biblical stuff. She's just as good as you can get outside of God's Armor. And God's Armor is really good too, but man, she's just amazing. But God's Armor, I mean, you get her and God's Armor in one room together, and you're just, the stuff goes right over your head. You just can't fathom. Doesn't look like I'm broadcasting. Oh, here I am. I got 2 watching. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Doesn't look like I'm broadcasting. There we go. I'm echoing. Hold on. There we go. That's better. So I got 2 watching. That's amazing. So anyway, we had her as a special guest on Shifty Sunday, and Noble was awesome. He stepped in for Sagittariusly Speaking. Now, when I was talking to Noble, I was talking to him about the certain picture he puts up on his screen. He doesn't mean to do it. It just pops up on his screen because that's what's on his computer thing. And now we got 4 watching. Wow, it jumped from 2 to 4. That's awesome. So anyway, he stepped in. He did pretty good. And pretty good. Who am I kidding? That dude is amazing. He says some stuff that'll go right over my head sometimes too, man. Which, let's face it, it's pretty easy to do. And hey, looky there, man. It's Wesley Wabbit. I got to tell you, man. How you doing, Wesley? It's good to see you, brother. He says he can't stay long, so I'm just glad to see you, man. But so the Mandela effects here for me lately have been really slow. I haven't really seen any. And I guess God said, hey, what do you want? I gave you Campbell's soup. I gave you, I gave you the Monopoly thing. By the way, that Monopoly thing went way over. Man, it went. I gave you olive oil. I gave you. So it's like I've reached my peak of Mandela effects, and I ain't gonna do no more. So to fill in some of the gaps I had in between, I started doing that Mandela effect, Mandela Family show. Which, if you guys haven't caught it yet, it's just silly. It's just a whole pile of silliness, is what that is. But it does pertain to the Mandela effect. Getting back to Star Trek, though, Star Trek: The Next Generation to be in particular, I started showing some of the old stop motion videos that I made of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I made stop motion videos back in the day and never had the resources to put them on YouTube to share them with you guys. So now, since I've had this laptop, I've had the technology to go ahead and upload those onto video. And I'm just curious as to what you guys think about those. Have you seen my Star Trek The Next Generation stop motion videos? And if so, what do you think of them? And I know that there's a lot of people who are in the Mandela affected community who are big into Star Trek as well. So I figured, I put those up there since there's no huge Mandela effects going on. And by the way, I found an American flag I wanted to share with you guys. It's an older American flag. It comes from my toy collection, and I wanted to share it with you guys, but I had already put it up. It's put up in the cabinet. So when I do another broadcast, I'll have to dig that out sometime when I do another, maybe for Shifty Sunday. I'll save that one for Shifty Sunday. But getting back to Star Trek The Next Generation, the reason why I bring it up and not has anything to do with my stop motion Star Trek Next Generation episodes that I've downloaded, but I brought that up because I wanted to bring up Star Trek The Next Generation, because on Star Trek The Next Generation, there are a lot of episodes that deal with alternate realities. And if you guys watch Star Trek Next Generation, you'll come across these episodes. They deal with alternate realities. They deal with shift in timelines, different timelines, and stuff like that. And it's just amazing how far ahead of their time Star Trek was. When rather you're talking about technology or politics or just the general state of the world, they talk about, winter control and shifty timelines. They talk about peace, there being peace between everybody on Earth, peace on Earth. Of course, everyone still has their problems. And notice I just said peace on Earth. That's just Earth. Nothing to say of all the other alien planets. And if you notice, a lot of their trouble does come from the alien planets. It doesn't come from other people that are on Earth, although we do have a lot of earthly problems still. It's not the total utopia that Gene Roddenberry had initially said that it was, because there is still a lot of problems. There still is disease. There still is poverty. There still is drug addiction and stuff like that. It's just the way that they deal with the problems makes it seem so much more futuristic. And the cool thing about Star Trek The Next Generation and other Star Trek shows as well is that they don't always solve the problem by the end of the episode. Not everything's all wrapped up in a tight little bow. There's often things that are left unresolved. They do have cliffhangers that lead to 2-part episodes, or hell, even sometimes 3-part episodes. But it's not all resolved within, one show. So, and even not even resolved at all, it goes left unresolved. You see them like disappear, the sad music plays, and the captain's just kind of staring into the camera. But it's nonetheless, go over and watch some of those episodes of Star Trek Next Generation. Go watch some episodes of Deep Space Nine. Go watch some episodes of Voyager. You will see alternate realities in a lot of those episodes. I don't know about Deep Space Nine or Voyager because I never was a Deep Space Nine or Voyager type of guy. Sorry, I got a bit of a thing going in my chest. But anyway, I'm about to just had my shower, as I mentioned earlier. So I need to go and I need to shut off my hot water heater. I don't know if you guys were here last Wednesday, But I was mentioning my hot water heater's been having trouble, and it's been leaking all over my floor. And now it's starting to flood out my bedroom. I was sitting on the bedroom floor putting together the Enterprise D for another Star Trek video I want to make. I want to show you guys real quick one of the sets that I built for my next, not that one. Let's see here. I want to show you guys. Let's get out a good one. I got to put it up in front of the camera. Oh, yeah, this is the hallway set. There we go. You guys can see the glue tracks in there. I want to go ahead and set that up. Turn my camera on. I got no shirt on, so don't look at that. Look at there. There's the hallway set. Can you guys see that? That's all you could see, right? You can't see me like sitting here with no shirt on. All right. Let me go ahead and let's see here. Where is my camera? Where did my camera go? Oh, okay. Let's click. Point and click. Nope. Gosh darn it, McNern it. In it to win it. Right now. Whew. Okay. Got a little dizzy there. So that's just one of the sets that I have for Star Trek Next Generation stop motion videos that I want to make. That's the hallway set. Let's see here. Running into some problems here. Here is 10 forward. It's not complete yet. But let me turn the camera on. There it is. Do you guys see that? Can you see it? It's for my 10 forward set. Let's turn the camera off. There we go. Hopefully it was 10 forward, not me here sitting in my chair. So there you go. I'll put these sets away now. So yeah, that's what I've been doing here lately. And here in a second, we will start talking about the Mandela effect and how it affects all of our lives. I want to go deep a little bit. I want to talk about life and death. There's been some things that's happened in my personal life that makes me want to turn up for, makes me want to talk about life and death. But I just, and of course, Wascally Wabbit says 10 forward. Yes. Cool. I'm glad you saw that set. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some new Star Trek stuff. I'm going to be uploading those to YouTube probably either next month or in July. Maybe we can have a cool 4th of July type thing. But I do have some older Star Trek stuff that I did back in 2016 that you guys could check out. And there's Faith, Hope, Love, Time for Spring Cleaning. You got that right, girl. Man, I'll tell you what. I've cleaned up a lot of stuff outside that I had. I had an old refrigerator sitting out there. I had an old refrigerator sitting out there. I had an old weed eater I had to throw out. There's a whole bunch of like cardboard stuff and stuff that I just didn't feel like burning. Like you're not supposed to burn certain cardboards because they have waxes and stuff on them. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, so I threw out a bunch of old dog pin wire and stuff like that, and did a big spring cleanup, which I'm happy to say my yard looks a lot nicer. Maybe I should do a video on my yard. I got my garden going. I got all my pepper plants down, my tomato plants. I got all the cucumber plants. I planted like 4 cucumber plants and 1 zucchini plant. So we'll see how that develops. All of my cabbage and broccoli plants are about ready to start producing. They're about ready. The cabbage plants are huge leaves just sticking out on the outside. And so those are about ready. And let's see what else. The onions didn't do so good. I planted some green onions, and I think the rabbits got into them. I'm blaming you for that one, Wascally Wabbit. You sucker, you got in my garden, ate all my plants. Um, no, but garden's out, everything's ready. We've had a lot of rain here lately. We've had like a ton of rain. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, like, it looks like the floor in my bedroom. It's really that bad. So let me go ahead and get up here, and you guys can leave the comments down in the comment section. I'll still be talking, but I got a couple things I got to take care of. I got to get out of this chair for one thing. There we go. Well, there went that. So, before I get to the serious topic of life and death, I'd like people to understand that I'm not talking about one thing in particular. And particularly, there's a lot of things that people just don't realize. One of those things is that if you don't believe in the Holy Lord, in the Holy Spirit, that you're going to be sad when someone dies. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be sad anyway because you're going to miss them. You know, you're going to grieve for the loss of a loved one anyway. But it's going to be 10 times worse if you don't believe in the Holy Spirit, because that means that this is all there is. And what a sad notion that would be, to think that's all, this is it. We're not going to see each other ever again. This life has no meaning. That's all she wrote. You've said your last goodbyes when you've said your last goodbyes. And that's a sad thought to have. And we don't know. You know, we really don't know. Oh my God, these pants are tight. We really don't know what's going to happen. That's the truth. We don't know. Why are these pants wet? I think they're just cold. But hang in my closet, but that shouldn't make them wet. So we don't know. We really don't know. But if we have the belief, if the belief is there that there's going to be, if we have our belief in the Holy Spirit, if we have our belief in Jesus, we're unstoppable. Not in a physical sense, of course, but, you know, in the sense that we, hold on, let me get some socks. I'll be right back. So, if we don't put faith in the Holy Spirit, we're done. That's it. There's no turning back. Oh man, I sat down. Jeans just went places they shouldn't have gone. Anyway, you know, we're still going to mourn for the person who has passed. We're still going to, because we're going to miss them. So naturally, yes, we're going to mourn for them. But we're going to mourn 10 times. Whoa! We're going to mourn 10 times worse than we would if there was no existence of the Holy Spirit or Jesus. If we didn't know the promise that Jesus gave us when we die, like Jesus comes along and says, or there is, Like if Jesus hadn't have resurrected on that third day, if he had stayed in that tomb and they had lay there dead, how much more will we be like, well, that's it then. There is no life after death. It's over. Say your final goodbyes because that's it. That's all you're going to see of that person. But knowing what we know in our faith, you know, I don't care no matter how many people tell you there's nothing out there. There's no life after death. There's nothing. Zero. Zilch. Lights out. You're done. That's grim. That's really grim sounding. And even in the Bible, it says the dead don't know anything of the living. That means you don't know anything that's going on after death. You don't see, hear, smell, feel any way at all whatsoever after you're dead. You're done. You're in that ground, or you become dust, man. You're sleeping. Does that mean your soul is sleeping? I think so. More than likely until the end of time. Until Jesus comes to judge the living and the dead. And there will come that time. There will be that day that we will all meet again, and we may not be the same as we are now in this lifetime. We may not be the same person we are. We're not going to be people in a sense that, hi, I'm Jeremy, or hi, I'm Bob, or hi, I'm Susan, or hi, I'm Karen. We're not going to be people in that sense. So we're probably not going to recognize each other. But that's okay. What you take solace in the fact that that person's life is over. They don't have to feel pain anymore. They don't have to feel heartache, sadness. They don't have to worry about disease. They don't have to worry about nothing. You know, I know a lot of people say that after somebody dies, their suffering's over with, or they're in a better place now. But we don't know that. I mean, we don't know, if we're in a better place or not. But if we're true believers, then we believe that that there's something else out there. There's something better than this. We believe that we're going to leave these skin suits and go on somewhere better. Because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's got to be something better than this. I say it every day when I wake up and my eyes pop open. I am glad to be alive. But let's make no mistake about it. This is a hellhole. You wake up, you have to breathe. You have to eat. You have to go to the bathroom. You have to sleep. You get fat. You have heart disease, diabetes, arthritis. Sometimes your legs don't work for you. There are people that are born with no legs at all. People are born with memory loss, retardation, brain. I don't know what the proper word is for it. I guess mentally handicapped, I guess is the word for it. I shouldn't say like retardation. That's probably not what it's called anymore, but you could be born with anything, any of those diseases that I mentioned. And it could, some of that stuff, you're not going to know you're not going to know that you're suffering because you don't know anything. You don't know any better. It's like a person with Alzheimer's. They don't know that they have Alzheimer's. They don't know that they have dementia. They don't know that they're living in a different world. They don't know anything. All they know is this is their reality. One way is one way to them, and that's how it is. Now, for a person looking out on the other side of the glass, they see this person as suffering. They see this person as forgetting things. They see this person as, oh my gosh, that poor person. They don't remember me. They don't remember my family. They don't remember nothing. That's not true. And we think that way because it's a loved one and it's somebody who we would like to think that we would like to think that they remember everything and that they're going to live a full and pleasant life and all this stuff, because that's the way we're living our lives. And we think that our lives are great. But we know our lives aren't great. And what I'm saying is normacy dictates that you're here. You're here. Who's the current president? What is the current date? How old are you? What year were you born? All that stuff. With a person with dementia, none of that stuff matters to them. And you know what? They're perfectly happy the way that they are. They're in that world separate from ours. They're in a separate world. And they don't know that they're suffering. So, yes, it's sad when a person has a disease like that, but you got to think of it this way. They don't know that. They don't know that it's sad. They're not sad. When they see somebody that's been dead for 20 or 30 years and they're happy to see him and they think that that's you, they're happy in that world. They're happy that that's like, oh, there's my daughter. She's alive again. Oh, there's my son. He's alive again. Maybe that person never died in their world. So they're happy. They're happy to see them. It's a lot like Mandela reality. Mandela reality versus what we consider to be reality. A lot of people look at us like we look at people that have dementia. They look at us like, oh, that poor person. They're seeing all this whole different reality. They're not seeing that this is reality. They're wrong. They're living in a different world. They're living in a far different universe than us. See where that comes in at? Do you see where, to us, everything that's in this reality, that's in the Mandela reality, is real? We're not happy with it. We're not happy at all. But we also recognize that reality, we also recognize the reality we used to have. So unlike dementia, we're aware of what's going on. So it's a lot different. There's a lot of difference there. Sometimes I wish that I could live in this world. And for the people that don't see the Mandela effect, they're the ones with the dementia, metaphorically speaking. They're the ones who are happy where they're at. They're happy. The Monopoly man doesn't have a monocle anymore. For them, the Monopoly man has always been without a monocle. For them, Ford has always had that gay little curly Q on the top of it. For them, Chevy has been spelt the same way it's always been spelt. Um, Campbell's soup has always had the B in it. Or I mean the P in it. For them, that reality is reality. And just like for a lot of us, though, we see both realities. We're in and out of realities, or at least I am. For me, Oscar Mayer is Mayer. But for a lot of the affected, it's not so. It's Meyer. And that's the downside of it, is we can't live in our own little unique universe. Oops, I just dropped my lighter. And not see this stuff, because we see both windows. We're seeing it both ways. We're looking through both sides of the glass window of reality, and it's not pleasant. There's a lot of times you would rather be that person with dementia, just living in their own little world, not knowing that these things have changed, not knowing that everything is turning different day by day. Everything we see changes, and no one else around us sees the changes. That is within itself a scary thought. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the common changes that a lot of us see are common changes. And here's something that I talked about a lot, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about this, is that I can remember something one way and you can remember something the other way. However, if I'm remembering something one way and thousands of people are remembering it the same exact way that I remembered it, then how can I have a bad memory? How can it be me having a false memory when it's thousands of people that remember the same exact thing? Is there such a thing as shared memories? Shared bad memories, I should say. You know, that's something I don't think anybody's talking about. I don't think Scared Performance or Brian McFarlane or Brian Maccabee or whatever his name is, I don't think any of those people are even considering that. That's the argument you have to put out there in front of people, these so-called scientists who are calling this thing misremembering, or they're calling it false memories. Let me light up a cigarette real quick, people. So I don't think like any of that could be false or bad memories, is what I'm trying to say. But I do like my analogy. It's probably not the best analogy, but the analogy of a person who has dementia, lives in their own little world. They are self-contained. They are happy, and they don't even realize they have a problem. They don't know anything's going on, that anything's out of the normal. For them, everything's just fine to them. But to everyone else around them, it's like, oh, that poor guy, or oh, that poor lady, or whatever the case may be. They're happy. They are happy. Wesley Wabbit said he had to go. Faith Hope Love is still listening, but she can't participate in the chat. See, it's easy to do a shout out if there's not that many people watching. I guess I'm blessed in a way, you know? Anyway, so whatever your reality is, take solace in it. Be happy with it, man. Make it your own. Just like, don't be scared. We're always running into these people who are just so scared of changes. They're frightened. They're frightened that the world's coming to an end, or they're frightened that because their loved ones are going to think that they're crazy, they're frightened that their children are going to be taken away. So much stuff that's going on with this Mandela effect, and a lot of it's true. I have seen people get their children taken away because they believe in the Mandela effect. And it's that simple. There's no, oh, they were neglecting them because they were online 24/7 talking about the Mandela effect, or oh, they neglected them because they didn't feed them, or they didn't watch them enough, or they didn't take care. No, they didn't neglect them. They did feed them. They did clothe them. They made sure they had clean clothes. They weren't consumed by the Mandela effect. They just knew that it existed. They knew that these changes were taking place, and they weren't going to be quiet about it. They were going to tell people about it. I opened up this channel from the very beginnings because I tried to debunk the Mandela effect in the very beginning. It's the very reason why I started this channel. And the very first video I ever did, I think, was on Oscar Mayer. And I tried to debunk it based on that one thing. And ever since I did that, I saw from that moment on, I saw my own Mandela effects, and I never spoke about debunk anything before, or since, I should say, or since. And it evolved into me now not only being a part of the community, but me being one of the biggest believers, me being one of the biggest advocates for the Mandela effect. I mean, you've got Brian Stanley, you've got Brian McFarlane, you've got Noble SD, Guy Fawkes, Scare Performance, of course, Lone Eagle, God's Armor. Well, God's Armor is more spiritual, although he does believe in the Mandela effect. His is more of the spiritual side of things. But you've got all these channels who are in with this Mandela effect, who are affected. And on those channels, not my channel, but on these channels, oh, I forgot to mention Suso. So sorry about that. The biggest heads of the Mandela effect, Suso, Brian McFarlane, Scare Performance, Guy Fawkes, and so forth and so on, I could go on, have thousands of subscribers who are into this Mandela effect, who are here because they all share the same experiences. Now, they don't all share the same exact experiences all the way across the board, like Flintstones, Meyer, Mayer, Ford with the squiggly at the top. I shouldn't have said earlier. I said the gay little squiggly. I shouldn't have said that. Let's just call it the Superman curl. Okay. It's got the Superman curl at the top of the F, or at the middle of the F, whatever you want to call it. But not all people are affected by the same thing at any given time. For me, Flintstones used to be Flintstones. And then it changed back to Flintstones. There's a lot of that stuff that's happened. It's across the board. It really is. And I don't believe in the Skippy peanut butter. Or wait, not Skippy. Whoops. See, there's a slip of the tongue there, folks. I don't believe in the Jiffy peanut butter effect. However, I will say this. I always thought it was Jif. But I always thought it was Jif with 2 F's. And imagine my surprise when I looked when I was strolling through the store one day. I was going down the aisles, and sure enough, there was a bottle of Jif with 1 F in there. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Okay, now, I don't believe that it was Jiffy, but it was definitely Jif with 2 F's. And now one of the F's is missing? Get back here now. Come on. Come on. Did they recently do this to save room on the jar or what? You know, it was that for me. And it was probably at that moment where I stood back and I said, this thing is real, man. This thing is for real. It's totally legit. And nobody can explain it away. No scientist, no Christian, no mythologist, nobody, no skeptic can sit there and point to my face and say this is all just misremembering. And the Dolly with braces thing took me back too. No way in my lifetime did that movie ever feature that girl, the woman who played her, whatever, the woman, in that scene, particularly, where she smiles at him, he smiles back, and he's got a gleam in his metal teeth. When he smiles back at her, she smiles back at him, and she has a gleam in her teeth. Where did that gleam come from if there's no braces? There's a gleam on her teeth. If you go back, I've rewound that part 1,000 times. I even did a video about it. Didn't get many views, by the way. Did a video about it, and you can clearly see there's a gleam off of her teeth. Where the heck did that come from if there's no shiny object in her mouth? There's no braces on her teeth. I mean, come on. You're going to tell me that at no point when that movie was being made, or at no point when that movie came out, was there ever any braces on her teeth? That it just worked? It just, those two fell in love by looking at each other for no good reason? Come on, man. Come on. There is something going on with this effect, and nobody wants to come out and say, okay, we did it. Or okay, there's something supernatural. They did it. Or okay, we admit there's a Mandela effect going on. This thing is just like the whole JFK assassination. And it's unbelievable. Nobody wants to come out and admit, okay, this is what really happened. This is how it happened. And everything that we told you so far is a lie. It's a cover up and it's a lie. And, you know, it just blows me away, man. It just blows my mind. And speaking of the JFK assassination, that's a whole bag of rabbit holes to jump down. It's like they put a bag of rabbit holes right in front of that JFK assassination, said, here, jump down this. You jump down one bag of rabbit hole, you're going to end up in another. And then when you're done going down that one, it's like a whole tunnel of rabbit holes. Like there's a whole system of just several different rabbit holes that you could go down when it comes to that JFK assassination. Let me take a drink of tea and I'll be right back. Man, I'll tell you, this world has gone to the dogs. And I like dogs, but not in this world. Or not in that sense. Not in the sense of how I'm saying it. Oh man. Get my shoes out of here. I gotta take out the garbage pretty soon. So I'm probably gonna jump. Ow! Sorry. I just hit the back of my ankle. Freaking hurt, man. Tell you. That hurt. You ever hit the back of your ankle with your chair? Freaking hurts, man. Then I'll tell you what, if you got diabetes and you put socks on and they're thick socks, you ain't feeling your feet for a week. I mean it, dude. It's like, I totally cannot feel my foot right now. Oh, man. It's like when you sit in a chair too long and like you go to stand up and your feet are just dead. That's the way these feet feel right now, man. I'm telling you. But I know if I don't put on the thick socks, I'm in trouble, buddy. But I gotta go. I gotta wash my clothes. I gotta take out the garbage. I gotta go run some errands for the grandparents. Just all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to put this shoe on. But I wanted everybody to know out there in the community, I'm going to start jumping on some Mandela effects. In fact, I'm going to do some Mandela affected videos starting next week. And it's going to be, a lot of them are going to be stuff that we've already talked about. They're going to be stuff that was on Scare Performance's channel. I want to jump and research the oral gel Mandela effect that Noble SD had talked about on Scare Performance channel the other night. I want to do that one. I want to go back to Barbasol. I want to go back to LED lights. I want to go back to Campbell's soup. And the American flag one, I want to show you that American flag I have. It's a toy American flag. It's plastic. I'm pretty sure the darn thing has got to have about 52 stars on it. And I'm serious. Because I remember 52 states, gosh dang it. You can't tell me we didn't have 52 states because I remember them. But let me see what the room has, who's in here. And I might send an invitation out to anybody who wants to jump in here and talk on my behalf. I'd be glad to send an invitation out. Let me ask, let's go to Hangouts real quick and see what's going on there. Hi, Diva Dan. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like to get rid of that Diva Dan name. Let's see here. Who do we have? Dum-de-dee, dum-de-doo. I don't have nobody. I don't got nobody. Nobody. But, you know, it's going to be an interesting week, I'm sure. Friday, you got Jesus is Calling. She's doing her show. You want to join. And, of course, you got, you know, you got good old Dan the Man. He's doing his show Friday night. Make sure you stay for that. That's Freaky Friday. So catch up on that show, and a whole lot more. I'm probably going to be getting off of here, and I'm going to give Sagittarically Speaking a few minutes here if he wants to join me. If not, then that's fine with me. When I come back, I'm going to come back later tonight. We may do the call-ins. And when we do the call-ins, you know what that means, brothers and sisters. That means some serious, serious stuff. I may have lost the broadcast. That. Close the current tab. There we go. I don't think I lost the broadcast. But anyway, so that's really all I have for right now. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm going to go wash my clothes, take out the garbage, shut off my hot water heater. You know how that goes. You got to shut off the pilot light. You got to shut off the water. And then you got to shut off the gas. I really wish I had an electric hot water heater. That would be a lot better. But I don't. So I'll get all this stuff done and come in later tonight. I'll have a lot more to talk about. And who knows? Maybe I'll make a few more videos between now and then. So just hang on. Come on back. I'll be back on later tonight. 7 p.m. 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And I only have about an hour, maybe hour and a half to do that show before God's Armor comes on his show. He has Wednesday Word at 9 p.m. So for everyone here at the Hebrew channel, which, hey, it's just me right now. So good night, everybody. And I'll see you guys later tonight. Have a good, enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. Oh, one more thing before I jump out here. I will have an update on my hot water heater when I come back later tonight with the broadcast. I'll let you guys know how that went. So good night, everybody, and God bless, man. God bless you all. Enjoy yourselves. Good night.